Hello, my name's Andy Parker, and I want to talk to you about the power principles of the Christian life. And these are spelled out by the Lord Jesus in Matthew chapter 6, which starts off where it says, "Be careful not to do your acts of righteousness before men, to be seen by them. If you do, you will have no reward from your Father in heaven." So this Matthew chapter 6 is talking about having a reward from your Father in heaven. And God gives good rewards. So how do we get these rewards? Well, the Lord Jesus goes on to explain in this passage three principles, three things that we need to do. And he says we've got to do them in secret, not before men. The three secret acts that we must do to build our relationship with God and to get a reward from our Father in heaven. The first one is giving. Giving. So the Lord calls us to be generous givers. God is generous, and he wants us to be the image of him on this world, but we have to be generous. And the question for Christians always is, how much do you give? And that's going to be different for different people. But I think an important principle is that there has to be an element of faith in what we give. You can take the approach in life that you get your money, you get your wages every month, and then you spend what you need during the month, and then what's left over, you can take a little bit of what's left over and give it to God. The principle of giving to God is that you've got to give God your first fruits. So you make a decision prayerfully to consider what you want, what's right for you to give to God, maybe a percentage of your income. So what is the right amount? You give that amount, and there's important to have an element of faith in your giving, which means you can give a little bit more than you comfortably can afford to give. And the difference between what you give and what you can afford to give is a gap. There's a gap between what you can afford to give and what you actually do give. And that gap is the faith gap. And it's important for us to have a faith gap in our life. That what we give to God, we give generously to God, and trust that as we do, that he will make it up to us and that we will not go short. So giving, the first power principle, the secret principle in the Christian life is giving. Thank you for listening.